And we are very pleased to have you with us on this pre-4th of July Wednesday on the Starting Lineup. Starting Lineup is brought to you by Play It Again Sports and the Fremont Shopping Center, Battlefield and Fremont, Springfield. Great deals, folks. You know all about them. Stop on down there, visit with them sometime in the next couple of days or later on this summer. Uniforms, hey, they can order them for you right there at Play It Again Sports. Swing Right Golf at the south end of Campbell Avenue, a little bit north of Nixa. Marshfield Chevrolet, I-44, a couple of left turns, and you're right there at Marshfield Chevrolet. You drive right into it. You're on the north side of I-44. And Citizens Bank of Rogersville with two locales. One is adjacent to Highland Springs, and the other is in Rogersville itself. I'm Ned Reynolds, along with
Scott Purrier.
Art Haynes will be back with us a little bit later on, and later on in the next couple of days, or maybe next week. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Still waiting, and we will not have a show on Friday, so we will wrap things up for the week tomorrow. Still waiting for our guest to join us. Hopefully we'll have her soon. Wanted to mention that being July 1st today, it's Happy Bobby Bonilla Day for those who celebrate.
It is, isn't it? He throws the big party today, too.
Yeah. He gets a check for nearly $1.2 million from the New York Mets, even though he hasn't played since 1999.
And keep in mind that this little celebration, this July 1st celebration when he gets that check, goes on until 2032, is it? 31 or 32, somewhere around there.
2035.
Oh, my God, it's still that?
Yeah.
Been almost 10 years away.
It says here that in 2000, the Mets wanted to release Bonilla, but still owed him $5.9 million on his contract, which $5.9 million seems like chump change now, doesn't it?
Does, yeah.
Instead of paying him immediately, the team's management agreed to a deferred payment plan. They structured a deal to pay him roughly $1.19 million annually for 25 years from 2011 to 2035 at an 8% interest rate. Basically, they gave him an annuity is what it turned out to be. And, you know, this sound, and we make fun of it and we think it's really kind of goofy. I don't know why more guys aren't doing this.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, especially, you know, as you get so Bonilla was born in 1963, same year as I was, and will be 72 years old when the final check is cut.
And you said 2035?
2035. And so, you know, you set yourself up for retirement. Now, most of these guys, I say most, a large percentage of them are probably pretty good with their money, especially the guys that played back in the 90s and 2000s.
You're right, the better percentage of them.
You know, I remember the years and years we had Brad Ziegler on that, you know, he was always talking about, I got to get to this mark. I think it was like 10 years of service in the major leagues, and Bales talked about it, you know, what a great retirement plan they've got for the veterans. But these guys, you know, every day you look at the stories and there's a horror story about an athlete who signed a $30 million deal and is now broke, you know. And I think, you know, being an OU fan, the stories about Adrian Peterson, you know, who had the world by the tail in his time at OU, and then, you know, with the Vikings, you know, when he was making his big money there. And you know, a lot of these guys didn't have any coaching back then in terms of how to handle the money. And I think now it seems like more and more of these organizations are at least bringing somebody in and saying, let's don't buy 5 Lamborghinis and do all that. Let's figure out a way to make this last for a lifetime.
And who's the kid from, I think it was from Mizzou, who held his draft party at the, was it the Mercedes dealership or whatever it was?
Yeah,
and gave his mom and sister a Mercedes or Porsche or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was a Ferrari or something, yeah. But, you know, she's probably not driving a Ferrari around right now. Maybe she is. We don't know what but Hailey Frank is on the line with us. Of course, if you follow the show, you know on Wednesdays we do an Ozarks Legends series where we like to talk to somebody that was a headline maker, great in their time, and nobody qualifies more for that honor than Hailey Frank with what she did in her career at Strafford and Mizzou. Good morning, Hailey.
Good morning.
Do you have 2 or 3 Lamborghinis and Ferraris from your Mizzou days or not?
Certainly not. Certainly not.
That wasn't a thing that was on your list of I got to have these, right?
No, that was never really on my list.
Well, we appreciate you getting up and talking to us this morning, and again, we were talking about what is Hailey Frank doing now. You've settled in as an assistant coach. Is it a GA or an assistant coach at Illinois State?
It's a graduate assistant, so this is my first year. I've only been here about 3 weeks now, but it's been good so far.
What made you get into coaching, and what made you pick Illinois State?
I mean, I think just growing up as a coach's kid, I've always kind of thought I wanted to get into coaching, which I ended up studying architecture at Mizzou. So I did play a year overseas after I graduated from Mizzou, and then I took 1 year and was kind of like trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and then ultimately realized that I do want to be in the coaching world. So this spring I started looking for an opportunity, which a graduate assistant was kind of the best way to get my foot in the door. And I didn't really have any prior connection to the Illinois State staff, but I knew that they always had, a great tradition, a good program, and the more people I talked to, their staff just seemed like a good fit for me. So just took the opportunity, and it's been good so far.
Now, Hailey, as a graduate assistant, are you taking classes up there, and if so, in what discipline?
Yeah, I'm in a sports management program. So I started classes. I've had one so far, just finished, started another 6-week for this month, and then we'll get full-time in the fall.
Now, what does Illinois State ask you to do as a grad assistant?
I'm kind of figuring that out as I go. There's not really defined goals, kind of whatever needs done. Definitely been playing lots and lots of defense in practice. I'm still not back in great shape, but working on it.
Oh, you're in good shape.
One of the big things I've been doing is say that again.
You're in good shape. You can still get out there and play.
Yeah, getting there.
I imagine part of your role that they brought you in is because the head coach is Kristen Gillespie and her husband's the associate head coach. Are you just settling arguments between husband and wife a lot of times now or not?
Actually, they're cousins.
Oh, they're cousins.
They're family, but they're cousins. So I don't know if that could be better or worse than husband and wife. But no arguments to settle yet.
Well, you talked about playing overseas for a year. What did you not like about it, and what made you decide not to go back and try it some more?
It was definitely like a good experience that I'm glad I did it. As far as what I did like, I think just getting to experience like a new culture and getting to travel and be in a different country was a cool experience. We had a great year too. The team I played for was called the Saarlouis Royals in Germany, and they had an in-season cup there. And it was like a single elimination, and we made it to the top 4. They played in Berlin, and then we ended up winning that, so that was fun. And then we lost in the finals in like the regular playoffs. So as far as that goes, it was good.
Hailey was
what were the dislikes? Yeah, I would say, what were the dislikes over there?
Probably the biggest thing is it was just such a long season. Like, I think basketball season's long in general. But I got there in August, and our last game was May 1st.
We lost around a little bit.
I lost you for a sec.
There we go. Yep, you bet.
It was definitely just a grind mentally, and being that far away from home and never coming home. My family did come visit on Christmas, but it was still just hard kind of being isolated in that way.
Was the WNBA ever a consideration?
And then I kind of was just ready to figure out what's next. Post-playing career was part of the decision. It just was starting to feel more like a grind than just love for the game, so decided it was time to pursue new things.
Did the WNBA ever enter into this as a decision for you? I'm not sure she can hear us.
Can you hear us, Hailey? I think she's lost her ability to hear us. We can see her.
I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I can't hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you. Why don't you come out and try to come back in? I'm going to remove you and then put you back in. Visiting with Hailey Frank, the former Strafford standout. Did not realize this, but she scored over 3,000 points at Strafford and over 2,000 points at Mizzou. Mm-hmm. Hailey, we got you back. Can you hear us now? Looks like
No, she can't, apparently.
Yeah, I think she's lost her ability. Having a little bit of an internet signal issue there. I'm gonna text her, Ned, and see if she can call us on the phone line, and maybe we can finish this up there. we'll give this one more try here.
Well, she had an outstanding career at University of Missouri and a viable part of the Tigers program up there, and now a graduate assistant at Illinois State, which is Missouri Valley Conference School. Can you hear us now, Haley?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. Yeah. Ned had asked a question before we lost the communication there. Was the WNBA ever a consideration for you?
I think after I had a good, true senior year in college, I mean, it was a goal. And then I think the biggest thing was just since we did struggle as a team at Mizzou, it was hard to get that opportunity. And then my senior year, I got a concussion. I think I started SEC play pretty well. And then I didn't really finish the year as the same player, so that kind of took any opportunity away. Of course, if that opportunity was there, I would have definitely pursued it, but was right there, but not quite.
Playing in the SEC, what kind of an experience was that for you?
It was a challenge every night, that's for sure.
You got beat up a lot too, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we played a lot of small ball, so I'd have to play the 5 or the 4, and I mean, offensively, we would usually stretch it out and kind of make it a disadvantage, but defensively, I had to learn how to be pretty physical and just, use all the strength that I had. But even the bottom teams in the SEC, there wasn't a night that you could just come in and coast. Like, everyone was legit and had a lot of talent on the team. But I think that was fun. It was great. I think it's the best conference in the country, and just push myself every single day.
We have seen so many games in the SEC of the LSUs and South Carolinas and people like that. Which team was the most physical for you?
Honestly, probably Ole Miss. I think they were one of the better, defensive teams, and just every move you tried to make, their physicality was always an emphasis.
Obviously admired the fact that you kept getting up and getting out there. As you mentioned, you were having to play roles that you played in high school, but you probably weren't thinking you would end up playing in the SEC and the college level. But what kept you at Mizzou for that whole career? I guess we kind of admire your loyalty there, because in an age where kids are getting in the portal and moving, I know that was kind of in the middle of your career where all that kind of started taking place. But were you just bound to be a Tiger through and through and finish up there?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely just a pretty loyal person. So once I made my commitment to that staff and those people, it was hard to just leave. I wasn't the type that was going to leave just because we weren't winning and things were hard. I wanted to figure it out. And I think just the relationships, I loved the coaching staff. I loved my teammates. And so I just wanted to stick it out.
Is your dad going to continue coaching?
He is. Isn't that crazy? He's been the assistant at College of the Ozarks. And then the Seymour job wasn't anything he was pursuing, but of course he had coached there before we were at Strafford. Sure. And they kind of just sent a feeler out, I think, and one thing led to another. The thing that surprises me is he's going back into the classroom. I never saw that one coming.
Well, Hailey, your sister Kaylee, who was such a big part of what you guys accomplished at Strafford, my last understanding was she was an assistant at Fair Grove, correct?
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
Do you guys still talk anymore now that she went to the enemy? Because Strafford and Fair Grove, you just don't do that, do you, if you live in Strafford?
Usually you don't, but they have treated her really well. It is weird to see her in Fairgrove for sure, but she's been having a great couple years there and has been really happy. So I guess we've had to make an exception.
Do you look back now, maybe that you're kind of clear of the college career and the high school, and realize what an incredible thing you guys were able to accomplish at Strafford? 115 straight wins in your career, 4 state championships. It's something that, we still talk about the Marshfield Lady Jays of the, 1988 through 92, 93, whatever that era was. Strafford Lady Indians basketball is going to have that place forever in the history books.
Yeah, it's definitely something special to look back on. I think for me, just being able to do it with my dad and sister, some of the best memories that I have with them. And I think looking back more just the way it brought the Strafford community together and the way people like rallied around us is one of the most special things to me.
Well, now that you're a grad assistant and so forth, and you'll be absorbing the coaching techniques of people in this D1 program, Illinois State's Missouri Valley Conference, what do you anticipate you need to learn to be a head coach?
I mean, definitely a lot, especially at this level. I think I'm already learning there's so many things like behind the scenes that the staff is, responsible for, and especially in today's age with like NIL transfer portal, there's just so many things that go into it. Right now, I think the staff does a great job with like kind of like analytics and strategy in that way. So I'm just excited to learn from them and being able to like see the game from more of a coach's lens than a player's lens.
What level would you ultimately like to settle into in your mind? Are you a high school coach? Are you a college coach? What's on the I guess the hopes and wishes in that regard?
Right now, I'm thinking college coach, but I've kind of always been just take things a year at a time and take whatever opportunities I get. So, I'm not like locking myself into anything, just whatever feels right down the road.
I remember, Ned, when we talked to the Marshall girls, I was at the paper then, and that streak and the pressure it put on. Did you guys ever feel that, you and your sister and your dad for that matter, when you won 115 in a row, and were there nights that you kind of went out there and going, gosh, we can't let this thing die tonight?
Yeah, I don't remember. My dad always tells the story. It was maybe our junior year, but it was like, I think we were starting to feel the pressure. There was like one game in particular, we all just like, you could just see it in our faces. And my dad asked on the way home, like, something wrong? Like we have problems on the team? It's like, no, we're just feeling the pressure, Dad. Like it's a lot. And he's like, okay. So, that was definitely something we had to work through. The streak, it was never like a goal to win that many games. We were just, trying to be the best we could every day. But it got to a point, I think, especially as we were nearing the state record, where there was a lot of pressure there.
When you told your papa that the team was feeling pressure, did he change at all? Did he change his coaching techniques?
I don't remember like specifically, but I think he is and was pretty good at like, bringing the energy that you need. So I feel like he definitely did keep that in perspective and how he approached practice or in games from then on out.
Looking at your bio, I forgot you were a three-time All-State softball player and a three-time state golf qualifier. Do you ever pick up a bat or a club anymore, or somebody up there in Normal looking for a good slow-pitch softball player to join their team?
I've played golf a few times. It's a little hard to play golf on a graduate assistant salary, but I've been trying to get on a course here and there. Softball, no, I haven't played any slow pitch softball, but I definitely did always love softball. It was just, good because the season ended and it was kind of like a mental break for me to just play a sport that was just pure fun.
Did you play volleyball out there?
Nope, only in 7th grade we gave it a try, but not after that.
What was it that wasn't appealing to you about volleyball?
Well, my mom actually played college volleyball, so you would think that we would have got into it, but I think since growing up, my dad was at Seymour and they didn't have volleyball then. We were just never really around it as much and to get into it, so then trying to start in middle school just wasn't really our thing then.
Well, of course, an amazing story with the Strafford Lady Indians this year winning another state championship, with Coach Dustin Larson. Were you able to follow that and pretty proud of the program you guys helped lay a big foundation for?
Yeah, definitely proud of them. It was good to see them get back on top. I was really happy for the Larson girls. Yeah, proud of them.
Very good. Well, Hailey, we appreciate your time. Best of luck to you. We can start a GoFundMe for some golf course rounds up there in Normal if you'd like, and see if we can raise some money.
I'll be all right.
You'll be
That's
okay.
a little dramatic.
Okay. All right. Thanks again, and best of luck to you, okay?
Thank you.
You bet.
Good to see you guys.
Uh-huh.
Hailey Frank, who is a graduate assistant basketball coach up at Illinois State. We'll take time out on the starting lineup. Be right back. And it doesn't seem possible, but the Blues will be starting back up here before, actually, I guess it's in early September that they go to camp.
Absolutely.
But the Blues games, of course, will be heard. So the St. Louis Cardinals right here, as is Sunday Night Football. The whole works is right here at 102.1.
Thanks to Hailey for joining us there. And we were kind of talking about, the streaks, the Marshall Lady Jays back in the late 80s with Melody and Julie and the Nunn sisters, Trish Marsh, Van Diglen back then, and then, what Strafford did as well. And if you had a contest of which one was more impressive, it'd be a draw because, girls basketball, I think as a whole was better during the Franks era in terms of the chance to lose night in, night out. But the impact that the Marshall girls had on girls basketball as a whole was probably a large reason why the Strafford times were so tough.
Well, sure, and it was first time, and girls basketball, although not totally new at that time of the era, certainly did not have quite the impact that the boys' game did, and that made it. Made it a very big part of our whole society. 101 or 102 straight wins.
I think it was 102.
It's 102.
Rhonda Hubbard will tell you she was on the Catholic team that snapped that.
Beat them. Yeah.
Very proud of that.
And she's the AD at Marshfield.
At Marshfield, yeah. I don't think she brings it up a lot around Marshall Lady J home games. But no, I mean, it was just a different time. And I even think back to Marshfield, what they did. Now, we need to make mention that before that, Sue Schubel and Kickapoo, they were establishing themselves in the mid-1980s as a force with Rhonda Hubbard as a point guard and Carissa McCarter and the Spears sisters and that whole group. Even before that, my alma mater, McDonald County, they had the triplets back then with Suzanne Nyander, Sue Thomas, and LaDonna Wilson, and they, in 1981 to 85, they were kind of the team back then that was, they won 2 state championships, runner-up a third year. And so Marshall kind of put the icing on the cake, though, locally in the Springfield area, made lots of little girls out there want to become basketball players.
Actually, Scott, it goes back to even before you were even up here. In the late 1970s, when girls basketball was established, Kelly May out at Kickapoo High School.
But it wasn't anything.
Oh, no.
No. That was just the beginning. That was kind of the grassroots.
It was the embryonic part of that level of sports that goes on. But you always have to look on that. There's got to be a start to it.
Yep, and Schubel was involved with that, I remember, when it started. And then the Catholic teams that Rhonda coached and Ken Hopper coached, with
Central.
And so there were just the eras, but Strafford comes along in the late 20-teens and just dominates. And what they did was amazing. And Hailey Frank was such a big part of that. And 5 years at Mizzou, and I remember watching her games. I would just tune in to see what she was doing, and she just got beat to heck every game. I mean, that SEC world of women's basketball is rough. And, she was playing a role for Mizzou that most other schools had a 6'4", 6'5" kid in there doing.
Where was she in relation to Sophie Cunningham? Were they both on the same team?
I think maybe they had some crossover at some time there. They had,
but it may not have necessarily been the same class, though.
No, Hailey was like around COVID through 24, 25 was her career. 23, 24 became the 4th player in Mizzou program history, eclipsed 2,000 career points. Was second in the SEC and third nationally in free throw shooting at 93.6%. That's Blake Ahern type free throw shooting right there. And had kind of forgotten about that part. Also became the second Tiger to make 300 three-pointers in her career. So, she was a big kid that could get outside and shoot. She could hit free throws. She was, if you made a Mount Rushmore of Ozarks girls high school basketball, it would be impossible to keep Hailey Frank off of it.
Her final year at Mizzou was when? 2024?
24, I believe, was her final season. Then 24-25 went overseas, played the year in Germany there. And so who would be on there? Melody?
Melody would be.
Hailey Frank?
Jackie Stiles.
No, I'm talking about high school.
High school sports.
Tara Mitchum?
Oh, certainly Tara Mitchum would be. And Rhonda Hubbard. No, she was instrumental.
If you've only got 4, though, you got a lot of girls we're not thinking about that. Rhonda was very good, but when I think of the, Melody, Hailey, and Tara would be three. That'd be awfully hard to knock any of those four. And then you got a whole bunch and I'm missing probably 10 people that somebody, well, what about her? What about her?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And stuff. And Rhonda be in that what about her group. But,
well, the key is that from the 1980s right up until there's been an increasing number of outstanding athletic products on the female side. And it's getting better. It always has gotten better. And I think you can continue to see that improve and the coverage to continue.
Let me throw a fourth name in there that would be hard to keep off of there, Cayman Beckemeyer.
Now, yes.
Well, and what she did at Republic,
sure.
For 4 years. And
well, by now I'm talking about.
Yeah, in the modern day there. So there's four. And, of course, that's why we have a text line, 417-447-1021. If you did a high school girls Mount Rushmore, who would you say would be on there? If you had four faces, who would you put up there? And so I think we probably ought to take our break and then come back and talk Ozark football with Ray Godfrey.
Which we will do. You're listening to the starting lineup. Don't go away. Very much appreciate you being with us on the starting lineup, and welcome back. Starting lineup brought to you by Play It Again Sports, by Swing Right Golf, Citizens Bank of Rogersville, and Marshfield Chevrolet. And Ed Reynolds along with
Scott Purrier. And we have a special guest on the line. He is the interim head football coach at Ozark High School. We welcome in Ray Godfrey. Ray, good morning.
Good morning.
We were going down memory lane here with trying to get the dates right, but as I mentioned earlier, I was an 81 Mack County grad. Seneca had a Godfrey brothers duo pitching in 82 and 83, your senior years, Mike Godfrey and Ray. And Mike was the power and Ray was you never knew what was coming. It could be a curveball, it'd be a little bit of everything. But are those days still kind of firmly implanted in your mind, those high school days?
Oh, they are. Mike and I, when we get together, we get to talk about them quite often. So it's fun to reminisce a little bit.
Well, now you're the interim head football coach at Ozark High School. We were talking in the first hour, had a resignation in early May that created an opening down there. Not really the best time to go try to find a football coach because they're under contract for the next year. And so Ozark, Dr. Lori Wilson and staff turned internally and said, Ray Godfrey, you're our guy. And what was kind of your reaction to it? What was your level of interest when it first came open?
When it first came open, I was just talking to Yancey and said, Yancey, I'm here to help however I can. And at the time, I don't think either one of us expected that it would turn into the head coaching position. But I think through God's providence, it worked out. And so here we are now.
Yancey, of course, is Yancey Little, who was, I assume, the acting AD down there at that time. What does this do to you now that you've had a little working with the students and so forth and so on? Is that flame rekindled?
It definitely is. The first time I walked into the field house, it was like, wow, it was like we had never left. And there's a number of coaches who were on the staff when I was coaching in previous years at Ozark. And so, again, it was just like we had never left, in my point of view, for certain.
Kind of like John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd were putting the band back together, right? Pretty much going around to those guys and say, let's do this.
Simple, yeah, something like that. That's good.
Well, you coached at Neosho, had a great run there from 92 to 2007 as a head coach. What's different now about being a head coach in 2026 that you've been able to pick up quickly?
Definitely the technology. We were getting into some of that, in those years, but the technology part of it has really been probably the biggest difference that I see. Televisions on the sidelines. We've had them for a while, but when as a head coach, that was definitely something that was not allowed. And so drones flying over the field, just a lot of things like that are different than back in the Neosho years, for certain.
Has the focal point of the game changed any?
I don't think so. I think you win the line of scrimmage back in, since football began, and even now, that is the key to, I think, football at any level. Is if you can win the line of scrimmage, you're going to have success.
What role were you serving at Ozark when Yancey came to you and said, "Hey, let's do this"?
Actually, I was on about my third or fourth retirement at the time. I've been helping teach, and I've been helping with wrestling for a number of years. And so when he came to me, I was in the retirement stage. And so here I go again.
And how are you approaching this? Is it an interim role for you? And in your mind, you're helping out the school, or is it something you're interested in? Hey, if you get the buzz back to you, we talked about Tom Cox at Mount Vernon, and the guy went out and sold insurance for 20 years, and now he's still coaching football again. Is that something that might be in the cards for you, or are you kind of in that mind of let's see what happens?
Right now, I'm in the mindset of I'm going to do what they've asked me to do as interim, and if it turns into something for long term, then we'll approach that at that time. Because again, like I said, when I walked into the field house again, it was like, wow, this is kind of where I belong, and it was great to be back.
Even though there is the interim tag on there, do you still also teach classes, or is football coaching it?
Right now, I'm not officially teaching. I'm going to do some things to help out, I hope. But officially right now, I do not have a teaching position.
If you were teaching, what would it be?
I'd love to get back in the weight room with the kids. I was strength and conditioning coordinator for 5 years before one of my retirements, and it's a position I really enjoy being in. So if that were something that were able to happen, I would be very interested in it.
So it sounds like you're the Sugar Ray Leonard of coming out of retirement down there at Ozark. When you left Neosho, and I believe you've been at Ozark since you left Neosho, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. What kind of roles have you served in what capacities over the course of that almost 20 years?
Well, I was in the classroom teaching math for a lot of those years, but also helped coach baseball with Coach Essick, which is always a joy. I mean, he's one of the better men around. And then I coached football for a number of years with a number of different coaches as well. So I got to do that, and I've worked with Coach Sunley in wrestling for the remainder of the time. And it's, again, just kept me around the kids, kept me around athletics, and it's been a good situation for me.
That's a very good point that you bring up. Now, you mentioned the fact that football, and as far as the focal point, hasn't changed. Have the athletes changed in that time period?
Overall, probably not a lot. A lot of times you hear, kids are different, and I really don't think kids are that much different. I think our expectations of kids maybe have changed, and therefore it seems like they're different. I think that overall kids, what they want to do is they want to play well. They want to give what they have, and they rise to the level of our expectations.
Ray, of course, you parlayed striking out Scott Purrier into a baseball scholarship at SBU back, and they talk about your years with the Bearcats, and then what happened after you left SBU in terms of getting into the coaching world.
Well, I was fortunate to be able to play baseball and football both at the same time at SBU, and wow. So I found out after 4 years your eligibility is up, but I hadn't graduated yet. So I got to be a graduate assistant in both baseball and football. So that is where I first found out that coaching was a passion of mine. And so after that, I had a few opportunities in the coaching, but then Coach Hodge, who was at Neosho for 1 year as athletic director, called me up and gave me the opportunity to come to Neosho and teach and coach. And so for 3 years, I was an assistant coach, and then was able to take over the head coaching position. And so that's how it started off as far as the coaching world.
Let's talk a little bit about your football team coming up this year that you have at least for 1 year, and who knows what else might follow through. What do you anticipate for Ozark?
I've watching what they've done, and I got to watch most of their football games in the past few years, and offensively very, very impressed with what they had going on last year in the offense. And Jed Easley had an exceptional year, and we look forward to him coming back and having another good year. And we're bringing in a new quarterback in Caden O'Donnell, which we feel really good about the way he is going to be able to lead the team. So I'm excited about their offensive returning, and defensively we have some changes going on both on the staff and on the defensive side of football. So excited to see how we're going to fare there as well.
The COC is a beast now. I mean, it always has been, but now, I mean, with Kickapoo and Glendale and Webb City and Carthage and Nixa and everybody involved in it, it's another level. Ozark is still trying to get that footing in that league. What is it going to take to get that going in that direction in terms of Ozark being there and being in contention with those teams?
I think that it's a belief. We just have to go in believing it and we can do it. We were in a similar situation in Neosho when we started. We were struggling at the time, and then in the course of 3 years, we were able to put together a pretty good run and take on a Webb City team that was perennial state champions and be able to come out with a number of district championships. And we feel that we can instill the same level of confidence and discipline in this group of kids because it's a good group of athletes.
Are you confident of your feeder system into the Ozark school system?
Right now, it is good. Our younger kids look good. We have a very good youth program that is feeding into it, and excitement in our junior high program as well. Because each year it seems like they've got better and better, and excited about what we have coming back. And
Ozark's done a great job of keeping up in the facilities arms race down there, haven't they, with what they've done? And Yancey, hats off to him to help get a lot of that done. But you walk out there, as you mentioned, you walk into that field house, and that field house wasn't there back in 2007, right?
Well, that was just about, let me rephrase that. The locker room facility was, but the new indoor facility was not. So that is correct. Yes. So that is, we are very fortunate to have the facilities we have, and they have really been good to us as far as helping us get the things we need.
Well, I tried to get you on a couple weeks ago when the announcement was made, and you had a little business taken care of out of the country. Kind of talk about that, because that's a great story and something you've been doing for quite a while.
Yes, I've had the opportunity to go to Spain for the last 6 years, and we go up in the mountains, and I work at a Christian sports camp, and Scott Metcalf was the one who got me started with that, and I get to work with flag football, and we stay in tents, and it's a pretty rugged area, and it's just beautiful up there, and I've learned a little bit of Spanish, but not very much.
What does Coach Metcalf do, or how is he involved with it?
He runs a lot of the clinics and things they do in the spring, where he works with their professional football team and also with some of their youth programs, and so he knew the people who ran the camp for a while, and so he was the one who got me involved. And once I retired officially from teaching 6 years ago, that gave me the opportunity to be able to go to Spain and spend some time there. And it's just been one of those things that once you go, it stays with you. And I've been able to do it ever since. And I appreciate Scott for getting me involved.
So if we see a Spanish name out there at wide receiver for Ozark this fall, we know exactly what happened, right?
Exactly. There's a couple kids that we had out there that it was like, man, these kids can come and play in the States, and they're all excited. They would love to come in the States. Actually, one of the kids from my first year played in California as a foreign exchange student 2 years ago, and I got to see him this past year at camp as well. So it is pretty exciting when you see those types of situations.
Ray, before we let you go, I know your brother Mike, we mentioned him, a year older, played baseball for Missouri State, SMS back at the time, a pitcher. You mentioned he's retired and working on the family farm, and kind of got a neat project going there as well.
Yes. So when we were growing up, we were fortunate to live on a farm that has a creek running through it, and Mike had always looked at that and said, "This is a situation where God has given me an opportunity to use this for others." And so now he's opening up as a retreat for pastors, so that they can come out and stay and just get away and not have anything to worry about. Go out to the farm and stay with them and hunt and fish and just hike and whatever they would like to do. So he has turned our family farm into a really neat place.
Did you play for Hodge at Seneca, or was he head coach then or not?
Yes, he was my head coach for 2 years, and man, what a learning opportunity I had through him.
Was Shannon Crouch there then, or was he younger?
Shannon's a little bit younger than I am, but I got to watch him in that Catholic game when he was playing. Wow, that was a classic.
I covered that game, and it was about 20 degrees out, I think, that night in Seneca, and And, of course,
Yep.
Seneca, they've got built-in camouflage everywhere for the kids to wear and everything. And so the fans were fine. The Springfield City folk were freezing their rears off that night.
There's also another one, too, involving Mount Vernon and Seneca, in which Shannon was injured and came in the second half when his team was behind and took them personally to a victory.
Yeah, and so that Catholic game, I remember it was like 18-0 3 minutes into the game, and that was when Catholic had Lance Creighton, I think, was the quarterback, and Washington receiver, and Itchy was a receiver, I think. They had a lot of talent on that team, but Seneca, those guys are tough, and I guess that's the way you grow up there, and it is blue-collar, hard-nosed, and let's kick your rear pretty much, right?
Yes, that's very true. And I just remember Coach Hodge always saying, our passing game was tossing it back to the tailback and letting him run. That was
Do you know personally where Shannon is now?
Last I knew, he was in Webb City. He was either works as highway patrol or he works in law enforcement somewhere. But his boys played at Webb City.
He is the sheriff or police chief, one or the other, in Lamar, and he's taking.
Oh, he's now in Lamar. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. Who's the opener with, and what's the date?
What's crazy is the openers with Neosho.
Oh, wow. There you go. Your place or their place?
It's at Ozark. So it's beginning of September. We get to open with Neosho. So it's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to that opportunity.
Full circle with the career then, yeah. That.
Exactly.
And before we let you go, got to ask you, you were at Ozark when you went over there at a time when Essick and was Phil Montgomery still there as the AD at that point, and I was going to say the entertainment value just in the teacher's lounge or coach's offices had to be at a top level.
Oh, yes, an all-time high. Anytime you can put those two in the same room, there's entertainment. And I still get to eat breakfast every Saturday with Mike Essick and Steve Hunter and a number of others, and Wayne Haynes. So, it's quite a crew.
Oh, that is an old-timer.
That is. Yeah, we need all those guys to come in with you next time. But anyway, Ray, congratulations. Best of luck to you and the Tigers this fall, and we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
He is Ray Godfrey, the football coach at Ozark. Timeout on the starting lineup. I'll be right back. And we are in the stretch run of the starting lineup, and great having you with us pre-4th of July Wednesday in the Ozarks. We will not have a show on Friday, the day before the 4th. We're all off that day. But the fact of the matter remains, we very much appreciate your being with us.
Yeah, I appreciate the internet, too, because, details we can't remember, you just Google now, and thanks to AI, it will find what you're looking for. And 1987, number 1 Seneca defeated number 2 Springfield Catholic 56-40. And that was the Shannon Crouch game. I think he ran for about 300 yards in that one. Tom Hodge was the coach. Would that have been Steve Spencer or Bobby Cornelison?
What year?
87. It may have been.
No, Spencer's gone.
Spencer's gone. Mm-hmm. There were maybe a coach or two I'm missing in between there. But wow, what a game that was! It was freezing cold down in Seneca, and it's funny. Like I told you, I can remember details of that game, but I can't find my car keys in the morning. Ed from the text line 417-447-1021. We knew we'd have some names we would forget. Casey Garrison.
Of course.
Yeah.
Casey Garrison.
So, Casey Garrison, Cayman Beckemeyer, Tara Mitchum, and Hailey Frank. Who you knocking off of that for if you only got 4, and who's going up there in their place?
Well, Melody.
Oh, I'm sorry, Melody, yeah. Mm-hmm. So somebody can't go up there out of that group. Melody, Hailey, Casey Garrison, Cayman, and Tara. There's 5 for 4 spots. I think you probably just have to make a 5th head on your Mount Rushmore. It's got to be
a new carving out of that mountaintop.
Yeah, we're going 5 there. And I'm sure there's going to be another 5 come in on the text line that say, what about so-and-so?
What do we have on the text line now? Do we have anything new?
No, just that was from the text line there. And then, of course, Pat Barr said, see you gentlemen at the Old Timers Luncheon today. A final reminder on that it is 11:30 at the Golden Corral at 2020 East Primrose. Our special guest, Dave Davis, the former Hillcrest baseball coach, really kind of made his mark with what he's done in journalism over the last 25,
Coach,
30 years.
I think Fitzel made a comment about that in that, and Coach Fitzel was right. This is a world class for talking about the United States in general, a world class media organization that he's put together. I really want to talk to him about that.
And he'll tell the story he shared with us, I'm sure, on the air that, he gave up baseball. I think the story goes that he was at practice one day, and he had to be done by 5:30 to go in for a media session with his kids. And at that point, he was actually looking forward to the media thing more than he was staying out of practice, and that was kind of his sign that, hey, maybe it's time I do that.
Don't take away what he's going to tell us now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for those who can't make it to the luncheon today. But again, 11:30 at Golden
Everybody
Corral.
will be there, though.
Yeah, what's that?
Everybody will be there.
Yeah, everybody in town will be there. But it's and we've had probably 35, 40, 45 people there for the first 2 or 3, and the procedure is pay for your lunch, grab your lunch, go back to the back room. We socialize for about half an hour. Ned and Art won't be there today, but Ned and I will answer. We'll talk about the Cardinals and current situations with sports, and then we'll interview Dave Davis, ask him some questions, and then let people, of course, ask as well. But 11:30 today.
Yeah,
at
the
Golden
point
Corral.
is, Scott, and you in the formation of this old timers, it's very informal, folks. Very informal. You come in, you have a question to ask, fire away.
From the text line, 2 more names to add to that: Bella Fauntleroy,
Oh, good heavens!
Hannah Wilkerson. Remember Hannah's work in high school, and thank you, Chad Pline, for that text. It's nice to know that Chad, the minute he gets off the air at KY3, he's tuning in to 102.1.
He may be listening to us before that.
Exactly. We appreciate that, Chad, that dedication. But I mean, I don't know how you could do it. Name just 4 for Mount Rushmore. And on the guys' side, we can talk about that tomorrow, but who would be the automatics up there? Anybody come to mind right off the bat?
That's a very good question.
Is it a Greg Kavanagh, maybe?
Kavanagh
one
would
of those?
he would have to be there. D.D. Pike would certainly have to be there. One of the very best.
The Bradleyville guys.
Oh, yeah. The Combs.
The Jolly Green Giants of Parkview. I don't know if you go as far out to include John Brown from Dixon.
Yeah,
But what about all these recent guys? What about Chase Branham? What about Aminu Mohammed? Huh?
Dorial Green Beckham?
Yeah.
Because he's very good basketball.
Yeah, and so, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. That's good summer fodder for a radio show.
We are out of time, folks. Great having you with us. I'm Ned Reynolds.
Scott Purrier.
And for Art Haynes, who will be returning to the show. Greatly appreciate your being with us, and we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow right here.
Instead of see you, we say USA, USA.